Hi everyone, this is CherryEnchantress, and this is your daily dust for Tuesday, February 13th. If you're watching in real time, it's Mardi Gras. Happy Mardi Gras. If you're not, then just take this message any way that resonates to you. It's just can be a random message that you stumble upon. But if you're watching in real time, I'm counting down to Valentine's Day, and it happens to be that Fat Tuesday is the day before Valentine's Day this year. And so the message here is, with the lovers at the feast, it's all about eating, right? The way you eat, who you eat with, how you eat. And many of our traditional celebrations through many cultures have an eating connection, right? Celebration connects with food a lot of the time. And Fat Tuesday specifically was about having a very indulgent day because you're about to fast during Lent, working up to Easter, which is, that the big Jesus holiday where he dies on the cross and rises up again. And that is, Christian tradition, but it can also be, anybody can follow those kind of guidelines if you want to, because this is an opportunity to go in the wilderness, so to speak. Many times when I've been to church and they describe this Lent period, the days of fasting represent the days that Jesus went into the wilderness. And I feel like it's a good opportunity for us too to dive inside ourselves and to connect with our bodies again and connect with spirit again and see ourselves beyond the material world and the food that we eat and everything, and be a little bit, maybe not full fast, but maybe lighter. Maybe pick Fridays, for example, for fasting, or Fridays for just fish, like a lot of people do, and seafood. So things like that can just put a lot of attention back onto food again, and which foods are good for you, and which foods, heal you physically and spiritually and work with you. So that's kind of the thing, that you might like to try, because the lovers at the feast is just saying, how often are we led to the table of delights in this world only to turn away from all the blessings that are offered, claiming there is nothing there for us, right? Like you open your pantry and it's like, oh, I have nothing to eat. Here, the lovers at the feast have returned to a place where they will eat well in an environment filled with love, and where each is cherished by the other and by the bounty of Gaia, which we often just call food, right? Feasting is the bounty of the planet and the blessings and abundance and the care for every need. That's why we say blessing, or we say grace before we eat. We're thanking God, but it's also, what the earth has provided for us. Our sustenance comes from animals and plants and nature, and our ability to use all these things to create masterpieces sometimes, So this is a time for appreciating all of that, appreciating what the earth brings to us, appreciating also loves in your life, whether you have a lover or you have a spouse or you have a counterpart. Appreciate those people that love you and return the love. That's kind of and even appreciate your own self-love. Loving yourself is the greatest love of all. Is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And one way you can show yourself love is by taking care of yourself in all respects, but including food and diet. I feel like the problem is diet has such a negative connotation, like it means suffering, but it's not about suffering. It's about awareness. People who have allergies, and I believe in allergies. I don't know why I said that in quote, but you can use the word allergies as a way of saying what foods support me and what foods bring me down. And if you want to use that as a way to guide yourself to what's best for you. And I know a lot of people have let's say different people in my life, like for my mom, for example, she had a psoriasis and a skin condition, and so she found an interesting diet about nightshades, not eating nightshades, which are like man-made type grown fruits and things like that. Especially tomatoes and strawberries, which are normally fine for anybody, but if you have a particular kind of skin condition and you stop eating those, then it helps things. And so she did that for a while, and not only did her skin clear up, but she lost a lot of weight. So I feel like there's particular things out there for us that are meant for us for our own personal health. I also believe kind of in the fact that sometimes our best diet is our origins, our ancestry. So I think sometimes like I should eat more fish because of my Scandinavian background, and that's kind of the foods that they ate. But if you have a Mediterranean background, eating foods from your land may be the right thing to do. So that could be possibly a connection too. Another interesting diet that I looked into once was called the Eat Right for Your Blood Type, and that was very interesting. And so the A blood type people in many years ago, in the primitive days, were the foragers, were the ones that gathered the plants, and O blood types were the hunters that ate the meat. So that's another interesting way of looking at things, and there's no wrong or right. It's just what's right for you, right? So what might be right for somebody else is not right for you. Anyway, the point is you might want to try different things. If not, that's okay. I feel like basically the message for lovers at the feast is to appreciate the bounty that you have and appreciate the love that's around you. It's almost like each one's a little bit different, but remember, this is for Mardi Gras. So Dristan is saying, look beneath the surface. So these two have masks, and masks are often used for Mardi Gras, and it's very symbolic. So Dristan speaks, don't be distracted. See behind the act. All my artifice hides only the truth, which at the moment you do not wish to see. I am always telling you the truth. It is simply that you do not wish to hear. I have always shown you who I truly am. You simply choose not to see. The clues have been strewn about you, but you have decided not to notice their presence. I can draw people into actions that reveal their shadows, and for that they condemn me. But I have been their teacher, for they know the whole of themselves, and thus have compassion for others. Some have wanted me to be an angel when I have never been of the heavens, and never claimed to be. I am illusions, but most of all, I am your illusion. Look beyond, take off my mask, and decide to acknowledge the truth about circumstances which you find yourself within, and know that although you may say I have done you wrong, I have taught you to follow your guidance. So there could be somebody around you that makes claim of virtue, but then they don't act that way. So be aware of that. This could be you too, or that it doesn't have to be to this extreme, but there could be a little bit soul searching here. When you're in conversations with people, there could be a really good way of approaching it, and I think that's in the next card, the listener. So listen to people and don't speak and don't tell them anything, and then you'll find so much more about them than maybe they would have revealed if you had sort of a kind of a normal back and forth conversation, sharing your experiences, they sharing theirs, back and forth. No, this time just let them spill their guts, and then you'll find a whole lot more than what you thought you would. So be a good listener today. How much have you missed because I could not have the space? The wild quiet, the blessed peace in which to whisper my secret straight to your soul. How much more could you be aware of if you simply took the time to be still and silent? The whole world can be heard in a moment, and now it is your time to be still, to be silent. Listen and truly understand what it is you're hearing. Listen with your being, your entire being, not just your ears. Allow your senses to be the soul's messengers. Sometimes we need to be quiet and listen, but first of all, we need to be quiet. So many people talk so much of the time, and the talking and the talking and the filling up of space simply drowns out the messages. The dragon fae do not decry conversation and robust dialogue, the joyous clash of friends talking with each other, or the singing out of voices, especially raised in joy, celebration, song, and good cheer. But this card speaks of a time when it would be right for you to be still and to listen. As the world whispers her secrets to you, we do not want you to be making so much noise that we drown out our own signs and messages. So be still, be silent, and be ready for the messages to come in sweet, subtle, magical ways. So it's just representing the qualities of stillness and sacred silence. And I feel like this is kind of an energy of moving on from Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras celebration, onto the aftermath, onto the time where it's important to be still and silent and more introspective. But you don't have to be completely introspective. You can also still, even in the stillness, you don't have to focus on yourself. You can focus on around you. You can focus on others. You can focus on the world in that stillness. And it's I think it's an interesting concept and approach. So, find counsel from spirit in nature. Rest in a quiet grove. Sit beneath a tree. Things like that. Bring peace back into your life and stillness, and listen. And then you sometimes you hear things in the trees and the wind, even when you get that silence and when you get that quiet. I visited Alaska, and it's one of the most silent places. It's very, like, you can hear the crisp air almost, but I could still hear it. I was with somebody who said the silence is deafening and scary, but for me the silence was beautiful because even in the silence I could hear things. So enjoy your ability to be still and receive messages. They're all around you. If you are pondering things, wondering things, and asking questions, and talking and not really listening, then maybe it's time to stop and just be still and wait for the messages from Spirit to come to you, because Spirit's out there trying to share with you insights, and all you have to do is be open to receiving it. And the signs are around you, and keep your eyes open, but not just your physical eyes, your spiritual eyes, your third eye. So it's like your clairvoyance and your clairaudience. Keep those wide open and receptive. I feel like a lot of you have natural talents to receive messages, and this is just saying, tune into that. And especially during the time after you feast. I read somewhere that when we eat very light, like barely eat at all, we become a little bit more receptive to the spiritual messages. So that could be something that goes hand in hand with your newfound abilities here. This is a very broad message, and this has a lot of elements to it. And hopefully you got a nugget, you resonated with something here. But I hope you have a really exciting, fun day. But even if you don't, I hope you find something within the day to help tap that part of yourself, a little bit more awareness of you, through looking beyond the surface and listening. So I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.